So bass guitar, like any other instrument, isn't really that hard to learn anymore for a couple different reasons. A lot of the reasons that I'm going to mention in this have to do with pretty much every other skill that's learnable now as well. Like I'm always talking about this with my friends, and that's the idea that everything is so much easier to learn now. Bass guitar, guitar, drums, computer programming, pretty much everything is just so much easier to learn on account of the internet, because the internet has made it so that you can learn anything at any time via an online course, or maybe you can gain access to a teacher you wouldn't normally have access to, like say across the world. You can build communities with other people who are learning the same thing all around the world. It's just so much easier and so much better than the way it used to be. Like I was talking to my mom recently about something, and she was saying about like how you had to go to the library, like you had encyclopedias, like that's what you had to research topics with, like encyclopedias. Now, granted, you could say, well, there's a lot more better official information out there, and yeah, that's probably true, but if you look hard enough and you look in it smart enough, you can find way more information and much better information as well. That even competing ideas and theories. But anyway, well, that's one of the reasons why learning the bass guitar and any other instrument is not that hard anymore. Like you have online courses and YouTube videos, or even like you can go on Reddit, for example, and find out which bass book is the best to read. You could Hal Leonard's complete edition book 1 and 2 and 3 from Ed Friedland. From what I understand, Ed Friedland is kind of like one of the best authors when it comes to learning how to play the bass. He has a bunch of books with Hal Leonard. And Hal Leonard makes books for all kinds of instruments too. It's definitely worth checking out their books. I used to read them all the time and do the lessons in them all the time when I was a kid. But there's just so much that you can learn with online courses and books and YouTube videos, and even YouTube. You can go on YouTube and type in how to learn smoke on the water bassline tutorial, and there. Like it's you just have someone just teaching you how to play it, straight up. And some of these videos are so well done that they even have the sheet music and tablature right in the bottom, which is frankly amazing. Like I can't think of anything better than that. I didn't have that when I was 12. I didn't have that. Like it's even this stuff is making me sound like an old man. It's like, oh, I didn't have that when I was 12. Well, it's true, I didn't. I'm only 28. I'm 28 years old. Turn 29 soon. And like I didn't have that stuff 15 years ago when I was learning how to play. So it's amazing. Another reason why it's not that hard to learn is that if you get a good in-person teacher too, this is going to help you a lot. And I think it's worth mentioning that if you combine all of the methods that I list here, I think you can learn a lot. You can be very effective at learning if you incorporate all of the tactics here, including a good in-person teacher as well as online courses and YouTube videos. And it's just amazing what can be done. Also, tablature. If you go on ultimateguitar.com, they should have bass tabs on here as well. If they don't have bass tabs, just Google bass tab for whatever song you want to learn, and I'm sure they'll have it. And tablature, like guitar, this is where we get more specific in terms of the element of the instrument, and that's that stringed instruments are just very conducive to tablature, obviously because they're frets, and then the frets are indicated via numbers. So as you can see, there's tablature right here, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 0, 1. That's just like the fret. So, and I believe that's an A minor chord. That's just playing the notes of an A minor chord. Yeah, and the bass is the same way. This is the guitar. This is a guitar tablature. That's not bass tablature, but it's the same principle. Another reason why it's easier to learn these days is because of access to DAWs like GarageBand and Reason. There's many DAWs that you can get for free as well, including Audacity. Audacity isn't very good. I wouldn't bother messing with that. Like, sure, it's good for some things. It's great that it's free, but just use GarageBand or use Reason. Use the free trial of Reason. Kind of stuffed up for some reason. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do with these DAWs. Like, you can record yourself playing, listen back to it. You can jam over a drummer track, like I talk about here in my article on Producers Society. You can jam over drum loops. You can layer another bass part in there and harmonize them. Like, there's so much that can be done. It's amazing. They even come with tuners too. Like, you can use GarageBand's default tuner, but it's not very good. I'd recommend using one like this instead. This is from Blue Cat. It's only $10. So that's going to be much better for tuning your guitar. Don't be afraid to use something like this. Another reason why bass guitar is easy to learn is because I find that the riffs are often single note structure. They have single note structure. Now, obviously, you can get way more sophisticated with bass. Like you can have amazingly sophisticated stuff like Victor Wooten or Jaco Pastorius, people like that. But generally in popular music, bass guitar riffs will have single note structure and they won't be terribly hard to play. Now, as you get more and more advanced, as I just said, you can get real complex. But, it seems like in popular music, at least, bass guitar riffs are just slightly easier. There's less chords. There's less notes being played. However, you could argue that the importance of timing and rhythm makes up for that, because you actually have to be a good, it's an issue with guitarists, including myself, where we all have horrible timing because we spend so much time playing by ourselves, not with a metronome. So we just we play something sped up way more than it needs to be, and it's just a huge issue. Bass riffs generally aren't as complex in popular music. I already said that. But yeah, those are all the reasons I would say that bass guitar is not really that hard to learn. Similar to other instruments as well. So if you want to learn how to play, combine all of these together. Learn bass with an instructor. Get yourself a good in-person teacher. Learn with an online course. Say, for example, you want to learn a specific technique. There's probably an online course available. Practice by ear. Listen to songs via Spotify or whatever other platform you use, and just kind of jam with them. I do that all the time. It's super fun. Learn via tablature if you want to learn a song. Learn bass at a school if you really wanted to. If you combine all of this stuff, including learning bass with your friends and jamming, you're going to be in a good position. If you combine all of that together, if I had to go back and relearn guitar, I would, now that I know how to learn a skill, man, I could be so much further along than I am now. I could be doing much better. But anyway, that's it for this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.